This is Rob Mosely. We just chopping up about his tattoos, his life, his influences, and what brought him on the Jboss ENT platform. We're gonna talk about that too. So stay tuned. I'm gonna play some music while we wait for people to come on. New York, California, Cuban got the 2-4 drink. Nothing in the world like a New York chick. New York, New York, yeah, I'm on that New York shoot. See us pull up to the club in a two-door window. Yeah, we about to run it on some full court shit. Like a New York nigga. I'm so New York with it. Hoodie with the Timbs and my New York fitted. Don't you go and get it by the New York spirit. You could lose or win it all in the New York minute. Talking like I walk it, spit it how I live it. Even in my losses, I take it how I give it. It costs to be the boss, so I bought up my percentage. Started off in the Bronx, so in New York, I'ma finish. Call up all the critics, let them hear, see the ladies. Cuban got the apple black, shiny full of flavors. Saluted by the bravest, rooted by the natives. The way I'm moving, got them saying, Cuban, you the greatest. 42's got me lit up like Vegas. Call me Q-Pop the way I'm spitting at these haters. Shorty X the hook up, I like doing favors. But if I don't feel a vibe, it's sliding in my show. New York, New York, yeah, I'm on a New York shoot. And by a state of mind, got me New York lit. California, Cuban got the 2-4 drink. Ain't nothing in the world like a New York chick. New York, New York, yeah, I'm on a New York shoot. See us pull up to the club in a two-door window. Yeah, we about to run it on some full court shit. Like a New York nigga. I make it sizzle, get it hella hot. That's why I'm in the middle of the melting pot. All
Let's
the 12 with
ungamble.
that good fella cheddar plot. This money game
Where?
got him know he's got the smell of cop. From the top of the Empire State, grab the torch of liberty and make New York my fireplace.
This is
Make the
nothing.
fireplace burn the entire stage, smoke it up. Should've never opened up the last
You
gate.
want the info?
Violators get the treatment for
You want
beefing.
info?
Leave them in the New York strip with the New York strip. Well done like a New York strip. Tell them they're welcome to take a New York trip where we can skip all the violence. Start no more be none. I'd rather have fun instead of wildin'. Taking pics, smiling. See that money piling in silence. Chilling in the villa on the island. New York, big city of dreams. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Making money in Manhattan and we spend it in Queens. Everybody's thorough, but Brooklyn's the borough. I'm brown. From the boogie down, from the island, it's stepping back to the heights uptown. Uptown, baby. Boogie down, baby. Why you
My
roll on?
dog?
Check the sound, baby.
You want to see my dog?
Uptown, uptown. Staten Island, boogie down. Fire. Strong Island, yeah. It's the New York thing. New York, New York. Yeah, I'm on a New York shoot. Empire State of Mind got me
Who's
New
that
York
pretty
lit.
girl?
California, Cuban got the 2-4 drink. Ain't nothing in the world like a New York chick. New York, New York. Yeah, I'm on a New York shoot. See us pull up to the club in a two-door window. Yeah, we about to run it on some full court shit. Like a New York Knicks. All right, so we got Rob Mosley here, tattoo artist, amongst other things. Does all my tattoos. We got him here to give him some plugs about his tattoos. I owe him that much for all the dope tattoos he gave me. You can see most of them on my profile. Uh, if you could just introduce yourself, Rob. Just tell us like what who you are and where you're located, and how you and I. You can just say where we met at, and also um, how long you been doing tattoos.
Oh God, bro, I've been tattooing for 17 years now. Was working at Remington Arms, and I used to draw during breaks and everything. And one time, my bosses came to me and told me I was in the wrong business,
Eh.
and I took them seriously and got into the business. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Rob. My studio is Ink Habit Tattoos. I'm located in Mohawk, New York, and yeah, 17 years. 17 years, long time.
Yeah.
I
Long
know
time.
Jay
I know
from
you're
me
talking.
and Jay used to go to
Yeah.
church together back in the day. That's how we kind of
Eh,
met.
Yeah. Remington, and I got you the job at Remington Arms. I
Yep.
lasted there about 6 months. We used to walk to work together.
Yeah, I don't think I
So,
lasted even that long.
yeah, you got a couple months in it. But it was all good. It was a good experience, right? So,
Yeah.
um, you ever hear of the Ultimate Tattoo Battle?
I have not heard of the Ultimate Tattoo Battle. I've
Well, they
seen
have.
like the Ink Masters, and I've seen those kind of shows and stuff. But I never heard of the Ultimate Tattoo Battle.
Well, Ultimate Tattoo Battle basically it is that you got enter a contest, and then you get in, and then basically uh, they select you out of the top three or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then they put it in, and then you come up with like three ideas. You give them three options, and they put it on a wheel, like of something that you want to tattoo that you're really good at. You put them, and you got to be selective though, because you don't know what the other guys are gonna put up, so you got to know what they're good at. So you got to pick something that matches well. So they pick three items, and you got to make one tattoo with it. So the
Oh, okay.
ultimate. So I think you should enter that, but that's just my opinion. I think you're that good. So anybody on here
Well,
that's new,
no,
because I see there's a lot more new people. There's Rob Mosely, Ink Master, Ink. What is the name of your company?
oh, Ink Habit is the name of the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now,
So
what I do is I have an apartment, and I have a studio room dedicated just for tattoos. That's how
yeah, and I've been there
I've
many
been doing
nights.
things right now.
You got a half a sleeve on each arm on me. So dope tattoos. Is like I said, this platform is for all art. So if I'm sorry if I disappointed anybody that just wants to hear hip hop and talk about hip hop news, this is what we're about though. This platform right here. Not saying they're disappointed, but I advertise it this way. But in the future, we're gonna do a little bit of everything. Give everybody a chance to get on my platform because art is art, and anybody that like
It is.
music, like art. And in my opinion, if you're passionate about music, not everybody's passionate. Everybody has a song they love, though. I believe.
Well,
So
it kind of plays off each other too. Without your art, like without you coming into my life, I probably wouldn't listen to rap at all. It just
right,
it
I showed you a new,
we,
and
we
you taught me some things about music. You yourself, you played the guitar for me. You played different bass, right?
I try. I'm not very good at it, but I
you
try.
know. So all right. So if you had to pick three tattoos, but without knowing, or join that, what tattoos would you pick? And you only get to use one of them. You got to spin a wheel, and then someone could be like I see someone said lady face. The other one, and they had a different option. The one guy had snake and this and this and this. And they had to make a tattoo out of it. All three of them had the same tattoo. They had, I mean, the same idea.
I
So,
think
what would
I
you pick
would
if you're in
if
a
I
contest?
had to choose, probably like a fine line illustrative piece. Something with a lot of fine lines, a lot of detail. Um, that's probably where I excel. I'm gonna be able to do that kind of stuff really well. But I think I don't know. You could probably put like almost anything in front of me, and I'm gonna do a decent job at it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like a
see.
multi-genre talented like that.
Right, you don't just do design. You don't just do, portraits. You don't just do, a specific thing. Some people are good at the, certain different styles. And that's usually, but you're talented.
Yeah,
So
there's so many people out there that they specialize in like one thing or whatever, and I try to give a good tattoo for whatever is like you know is given to me to do.
yeah. So if you had to pick three tattoos to pick, in the contest, what tattoos would you pick that you feel like you're the best at?
Um, well, like I said, anything fine line illustrative, um, anything color bomb, like a color bomb traditional, neo traditional kind of style. And probably the third one, I would probably pick like a surrealistic black and gray kind of style. So you
Yeah.
say like a soft skull with realistic roses, or with a fancy background behind it, or something like that.
Okay, that's pretty dope. So with that being said, how many I don't know tattoos have you done in one day? Like, I mean, you're pretty fast, but
I think the
I'm at a
most
show,
tattoos
doing,
I've
like if you have an hour tattoos, like if you do an hour piece tattoo, like an average tattoo.
brother, the most tattoos I've ever done in a day was I think 19.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So you're
that
that.
was
You come there, you get, he's quick and he's efficient. I used
yeah.
to me and my
They were
ex
all about the
significant
size
other
of a
used to
half
come there and
dollar,
get.
but
She would get two or three tattoos done. I'd get one, and we'd be there for a couple hours, and we'd be having, a good time having some. We'd be sipping, and he'd be doing tattoos. So, anyways, with that being said, what else is there? What's the next question? I said. So, what music, like when you're doing tattoos, what music mostly influence you when you sit down drawing and you're vibing? What do you listen to?
you know me, brother. I'm a
Yeah.
deadhead at heart. Like any kind of jam band music, Grateful Dead, um, you know, Little Stranger, stuff like that. But like when people come over for tattoos, I put on whatever they want to listen to, whatever the client is going to feel most comfortable with getting tattooed.
Yeah, I
I go with
usually the
whatever they
DJ when I'm
want.
there. I'm usually the DJ when I go there.
What do you think the number one answer is when I ask people what they want to listen to?
Right. Oh, that's good. So, since you met me, what was your favorite rap that you heard since we've been chilling? Like, what's you found that you liked?
Um,
So, what type of influence did I have on you with music, with the rap?
just putting it out there. You're able to like tell me what some of the things mean because I'm very like when it comes to rap and stuff, I can't understand some of the lyrics. Some of the ways that things are said or
Just like
done.
some of the music you listen to, I can't understand it either.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. Like
we
I
has
think
two
you
different
had to
genres of
explain
music.
you explained to me like what I got that Miley Cyrus is, or I got that Justin Bieber. I got that. Like I didn't understand what any of that was. I didn't know that it was
Right.
referencing something else, and so
Right.
that's what actually like you've done for me is you got me starting to pay attention to the lyrics, even if I gotta look them up and read them to see what they're being said. Like it's brought me to a place where I
Yeah.
like have to research things.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, if I'm just drawing or whatever, I'm probably listening to some folk music, some blues, some funk, stuff like that.
so if I ask you, like, how did you get started doing tattoos though? Like what? Like I know you started young drawing, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
I've always drawn. Like I said at the beginning of the show, like I was working at Remington Arms and I met this guy Stosh and I brought some of my artwork down to his shop and I just left it there for about a week or so. And I came back and he was like, "Yeah, everyone likes your artwork. We'd like you to hang out a little bit." So I started hanging out. I do believe that like I'm one of those people that like 17 years ago I went through the right way of doing things. I paid someone to learn how to tattoo. I kind of fell into it. I feel like nowadays anybody can just buy a machine and tattoo.
right. So I'm gonna you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get the video that has Cuban Link getting his tattoo done, and we'll talk about what we're gonna have you do at some point in the near future. I don't know how near future, but it'll be not like forever, but letter to pun, the first one, and it shows him getting a letter to pun. So I'm putting on letter to pun, and so Cuban would got his tattoo done in that video, and we're gonna have this guy here not redo it, touch up the original Big Pun tattoo on Cuban. And we're gonna go live, and we might even do like a little tattoo party and go live, and so everybody can.
Yeah, that'd be
All
pretty
right,
cool.
yeah. So anybody listening, I'm going to be putting on letter to pun so we can see that tattoo being done on
What up, twin? I'm just sitting back, man, thinking about all the good times we had. There's a lot of things been going on since you've been gone. I just thought it was time for me to sit down and write you a letter. You know what I'm saying? A letter from my heart. Yo, let's go. Before I take a shot, I always make a toast to the sky. Blow some smoke in the air so we both can get high.
Right there, you see it? So that's a tattoo that you're going to be touching up when we do the when we have you do
I've
that.
seen
That's
it.
the
I've seen
tattoo
it
right there.
closer up. It's hard to see in through the screen, but
Yeah, but if anybody
I've
wanted to see
seen
what
it
the
close
tattoo
up.
looked like being done, it's in the first letter to Pun, and we're going to this man right here is going to be touching it up, not changing anything, just making it look new again. So,
Oh
all
yeah,
right,
not
we'll
going to change
continue.
anything.
All right, it's a good. So we'll continue on with
And I
that.
hold my rosaries tight and hope to get by. Close my eyes and ask the Lord why he chose you to die. Though I believe in God, I chose my own growth as a pride. I don't abide in no Bible, cause most of them lie. Life's like a roller coaster ride, just try to hold on and drive. It's all about surviving, one day we all gonna die. I try to hide all these feelings I was holding inside, cause they always told me thugs ain't supposed to cry and show the emotional side. But it soaked up my eyes, cause I never had nobody really close to me die. Couldn't understand it at first, so how did this work? You was just head full of cheer, now I'm following your hearse. It's out of this earth, I felt like I was down with a curse. Had to light a candle in church to handle the hurt. In retrospect, I always respect the man that you were, a man of your word that always put his family first. With talent superb, all you wanted was to be heard, and you got your chance, all your fans are proud of your work. You made it out the dirt and got on top of the world, but you still stood in the hood with your son and two little girls. You ain't iced out chains, your wife was rocking the pearls. You lived a ghetto fabulous life, the Bronx was your pearl. And when the fame came, you never changed, you kept it so thorough. We did the same thing, popping champagne so we earned. You shocked the world, twin, every time you rapped on the track. You had cats like, how does rap dude could flow like that? Is he black? Is he packing the Mac and back in the act? The only Spanish rapper to snatch up a platinum rack. That's a fact, it's been written in stones from here to Rome. When it comes to spitting the poems, you sit on the throne. I wish you was home. Life is so different alone. Spoke to Liza and the kids, little Chris is so grown. He's your own spitting image, it's just like you a clone. You know I treasure men, didn't treasure like they were my own. Liza's still trying to get it together. She had your back through the stormy weather. For that, I'll never forget. I found the tougher than leather. As for me, things could be better. Needed to clear my head up. That's why I have to write you this letter. Since you've been gone, Joe's been stronger than ever. Still with Lorena. How can he go to bed knowing he's still in your chest? About a mill or better. To me, he's as real as clever. We built this together. Still in all, he had me set up. I should have known better. I let it ride for too long. Let it slide for too long. Let it hop for too long. Now I'm trying to move on without trying to do wrong. But my pride is too strong. I'ma ride through the storm with 100 troops strong. The bulletproof's on. Glass cocked and locked and ready to shoot from. I'm just trying to put you on to what's going on. A lot of backstabbing since you've been gone. A lot of black rapping coming from the so-called dawn. A lot of blackballing happening. No matter what, I'm still going strong. Tony still singing songs, trying to swing it along. He's no longer foundation, saying joke with him on. He stands strong.
That's the spot right there.
Prospect back in the projects, living with mom's word bond. Reggie's the realest. She know what the deal is, feeling like it's still a chance. Wishing you could come and help, but the thrill is gone. I'm no longer part of that. Back where I started at. That's where my heart is at. Cause God knows how hard I scrap. You trying to keep it from this. I've been a team player. He chose to play at his own way. Some kids still come around. We still get down. We puff a pound whenever Turkey see coming to town. Rome is illin'. He's down in Orlando making a killing. Building his own army with soldiers ready and willing. Me and Say still be chillin'. He's fine as well. Still rhyming, still grinding. Only time will tell. Really stressed out, trying to figure out his next route. Feeling left out. Normal DS, he checked out. X'd out his tattoos, but he still got you. Being still with me, full of clips. Our old school crew. He stayed true. Always been the coolest nigga we knew. Movies up in the videos, and you know who. You was the clue to the puzzle. The key to the struggle. The reason why I even chose to be in this hustle. Twin, I love you. No matter what or who tries to judge you. It's nothing worse than family and friends trying to fuck you. I'm stuck through it all, and this is one and all that I do is the closest ones to you that'll stick it in and touch you. So much for being humble, I'm coming through with the shovels. Tombstones and all, and turn them hard rocks to rubble on the double. So you can be at peace with your struggles. Cause even after death, you stress from all these knuckles. Guzzle the liquor, nothing worse than it's blood on my knuckles. Watching the devil jumble, hoping I break down and bubble in this jungle. It's all about survival of the fittest. So you die, you never finish. When you still alive in spirit, I can feel it. I know you up in heaven right now. Hanging out in Dutch Mansion, you and Pop wildin' out. Living the king's lifestyle with platinum rings iced out. Bet you and Biggie and the angels clowns popping crystal, getting high. With Ricky Die lighting up White Out, thugging it out with Big Al. Rolling dice on the cloud, Leah smiling down, left eye is still like wow. Bugging out, partying, everybody's up in the house. Kicking freestyles, I'm Master J, hypes in the crowd. Ain't no fights breaking out, it's all out right now. I'm just writing down how I feel, hoping you hear me putting my heart and soul in so you can see it all clearly. I hold you dearly in my thoughts, cause like you, there's no other. Sincerely yours, Cuban Links, your twin, your brother, baby, I love you. Still got your back, twin. Your brother's here. You even got your own day up in the Bronx. We'll take the world. Yeah, I'ma ride with you, baby. I'ma always ride with you. To the day I die. My word.
What
All
are you
right.
doing?
So that was, I put that video on so the listeners know the tattoo. We're talking about the big pun tattoo that Cuban got done, and they showed a clip of it in that Where the Pun, the first one. And this guy right here is going to be doing the touch up, just making it look new again. That's all, just to keep that memory alive. And I think it'd be dope to do that live. And this guy's a dope artist, and I told him he should get in the if they have another one, put in some work to see if he could get in the ultimate tattoo battle. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna see what
Yeah, I
that's
just
about.
watched. I did my research before we went on tonight a little bit. So I have one more question for you. So, anyone in your family do tattoos, like, or someone you grew up with that was close to you?
No, actually, it's probably the furthest thing from the way that I grew up.
Right.
Honestly, uh, my mom and dad were devout Christians and went to church and stuff like that all the time. So it was definitely not something I ever thought I would do. And I got into it
Right.
late, man. I got into tattoos. I was what, 26, 27 years old before I even started
Yeah.
tattooing. Maybe
Funny
even older.
story. When you first got into tattoos, it was only a couple years later. Me and my first wife divorced, and she always wanted to get a tattoo, and I was kind of like, no, I don't want you to get one. The day we signed the papers, she was over getting a tattoo by Rob. And then
And
I
I
ended up dating a
don't even
girl.
think
I
I
ended up
knew
dating
that
a
that's what was
girl,
going on.
and I dated a girl that right after that I was dating a suicide model. So she was covered in tattoos. I went from one degree to the next. So
And it only took
yeah,
you 20 more years to get a tattoo from me after.
yeah. I didn't get my first tattoo until I was 50. I mean, I had my nephew. Let's get it straight. I want to give him credit. He gave me my first two tattoos, but with that being said, they had some different things that were wrong with him. Not that anything that he did wrong. He might, maybe try to make them a little bit bigger on each hand. But like you said, that's he did a good job at the art. He just didn't fill out the whole hand. And but you made because the one side didn't take very well, so that was because of my skin. And you
Well,
fixed it
that and
up,
it's
and
a
then from there
normal
you did
hand
the rest of
problem
it.
too.
Huh?
Hands are weird. Hands are weird. They don't hold up well. A lot of times they need to be done two or three times. It's very rare you can get a well done hand tattoo the first time you get
Yeah.
it done.
So, welcome to anybody new here on this on the channel. This is Rob Mosely. He's going to potentially be doing Cuban Links touch up to hit a big pun tattoo, which is pretty dope. You hear me do that every once in a while when I see someone new come in here, so they know what we're talking about. And also giving a plug to
Sure.
Rob because he's my tattoo artist. And if you're in upstate New York or you get up here, definitely seek him out. If you can't find his information, you can hit me on DM me dope tattoo artist. I believe he could do one of those ultimate tattoo contests that I was seeing. And I think you get in a magazine, and different things like that. You get a lot of credit, and plus I think some money. So that'd be cool too. Love to see you do something like that with your career. Um, so what else is up? What else are you looking into? I mean, to do just sticking with the tattoos. I mean, obviously that's your bread and butter.
Well, that's my bread and butter. I just became a perfumer. I'm making cologne
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot all about
yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm trying to make some sense. I want to leave a scent behind, a good one.
Nice that.
Yeah, I want to leave a nice scent behind when I go.
Yeah.
Something like,
So you're also gonna do, at some point we want you to paint the inside of the studio, do like a not a mural, but like artwork on the walls. We were originally gonna have you do that, but we had some different issues, life issues. But now we're, getting that done.
yeah. Well,
So,
I'm
and I
sure
think you'd be
like
dope
we'll
at that.
be back on our feet, and I'll be out there. I'll do that, 100%.
Yeah.
Make
So
some
that'll be dope.
content.
Yeah, and we're making the Scarface room. Cuban, he wants you to take we want to get it all painted so we don't even have to put Scarface up on the wall, so you just know what it is. So put the palm
I
trees
don't
up,
think
put
I
the
can
yellow. That's why
paint
we
the
had the yellow,
Scarface.
because if you look at the yellow, it looks has a Miami scene to it with the different reds and oranges and mixed in. That's what we're looking for with the palm trees and things like that. So yeah. So what else? So when you started doing tattoos, I was around you when you had the idea of it because you're working at Remington, right? Um, so you went from there and then kept going and doing tattoos, and then before you knew it, you're one of the best tattoo artists in that time. Now I think you probably are the best in the valley. So at least out by
Uh,
us.
there, there is so many good artists out there right now. I would love to think that I am like that person, but like I look up
Yeah,
to
there is a
so
lot of
many
tattoo
other
artists out
artists
there.
in this area. I'll give you a
So if
good
anybody
tattoo, one hundred
wants a
percent.
tattoo, hit us
But
up. Hit him up if you can't get a hold of him. Hit me up, and I'll definitely put you in the right direction. You can look at the ink work that he did on me on some of my posts that I have on my platforms, and check
you can
that
also go
out.
on my page under Rob Mosely, and look at my portfolio on there as well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play another song, and then we'll wrap it up when I come back, and that way we can wait for a couple more listeners to get in, and we can plug the Big Pun tattoo again, and with Cuban Link, and we'll go over that when after we get done with the music. I don't know what I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play something from Cuban Link, but go to my page. Go to the. We're getting a lot of views. We're getting a lot more views on our dirty section. Yeah, I'd love to see the numbers go up on the dirty section. So I'm gonna play. Let's play "Hit the Road Crack." That's a diss track to Fat Joe, obviously with TA the Legend and Cuban Link, and we did that. We did that video at the same. He went from Cape Cod, drove all the way to New York, did the video, came all the way back to Cape Cod. So that was a long drive. So I'm gonna put that song on, "Hit the Road Crack," TA the Legend and Cuban Link. There we go. Of course, we got a commercial. I lost my premiere due to financial reasons, but here we go.
We lit chat.
I do believe this is one of the songs
But
that were just
small
made
thing that
when you
people
and
might
I just
not
got
know.
back together.
Small thing that a lot of people don't know is that Big Pun. Well, Cuban actually paid to have that done. A lot of people don't know that about Cuban Link. That he actually, because he doesn't talk about it, he paid to have that memorial done. Uh, and a lot of people don't realize that he doesn't like boast about it. You know what I mean? So you get someone like Fat Joe, he'd be talking all about what he did, what he's done for everybody else. Cuban just, the things that he's done, he stays humble. But here we go. Here's the "Hit the Road Crack" with TA the Legend and Cuban Link.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road crack. Don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road crack. And don't you come back dirty on no more, no more, no more. Hit the road crack. Don't you come back no more. The legend. Damn, it feels good to have people up on it. Used to help you on stage, and now you don't want it. Got booed at the stadium. Yankee fans hated him. Hey, yeah. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? How was that Fat Joe performance last year? The worst? The worst. Happened in the interviews. Watch me have my way with them. Take them to the slaughterhouse,
Turn
turn
them
them
to
to
a
a porterhouse.
porterhouse.
They asking for receipts, now they mad that I brought them out. People in the streets know exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on a homie, then you had them in the family south. Went from a star to nobody famous until I came through with the raps and the cadence. Couldn't catch the bounce even if you had a spaceship. Signed with the nation, now you showing off your anus. Everything you did was either corny or basic. I gave you more lines than the side of some A6. With me on the track, it was off to the races. Yep, I said it, off with the races.
Hit the road, crack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, crack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? You gotta go, Joe. You gotta go, Joe. Go back your back, grab your crack and hit the road, Joe. You shut your own toe off for trying to showboat, knowing that you stole punch flow and you just don't show. I let it fly like a level 5 hurricane. I came to terrorize and send that Uncle Tom to cruise the vanilla sky. For telling lies and trying to sell us the devil's pie. That's why this time the revolution is televised. Open your eyes up, organize and get wise up and rise up together instead of letting them divide up with lies and bribes to try to hide. He's a shyster, a colonizer that ain't apologize to Liza and Pun's kid for doing what he done did, for smuggling funds to blocking the voice of his son Chris. He's unfit to run with the gift like Pun did. Not even one bit, he doesn't write his own hits. My tongue spits that blatant shit that turn pigs to bacon bits. He fronts big, but this punk spit's been faking it. Ain't no debating it. Jamaicans out there shaking it, Latinos out there breaking it, but blacks and just creating it. Yeah, we celebrating it. That's how we stating it. That's why your haters keep hating it. I do this shit for hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. You gotta go, Joe. You gotta go, Joe. Go back your backs, grab your crack and hit the road, Joe. You shut your own toe off for trying to showboat, knowing that you stole punch flow and most stole. So hit the road, crack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, crack, and don't you come back no more. What you say?
All right.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on.
Commercials. All right. Again, this is Rob Mosely. Gonna plug again. He's potentially gonna do in the near future. Cuban Links tattoo that he has a Big Pun on. Retouch it up. Make it new again. So for the listeners, is Rob Mosely. Come check him out on in Mohawk on his platform, and you could just have say something before we get off of here. Just give yourself a plug and any last words.
Yeah, just check my work out on Facebook. It's under Rob Mosely. I also have an Ink Habit page. You can go to the Ink Habit page. If you want to book with me, just hit me up private message and we'll figure it out. And thanks for having me on. And I love you as always, man.
Love you too,
And
brother. I told you I'd get you up on here. I said as soon as I get this, I said like I said, I'm doing all sorts of So, anyways, I'll close this out, and I'm going back on live tonight with some of my associates from Jersey, and so hopefully people get at you, and looking forward to seeing you again, bro. Thanks for coming on.
yeah, thank you.
Yep.